You're watching ShotokuTech, Saturday Story Time, 24 October 2020 edition. Welcome back to ShotokuTech, Saturday Story Time. This first story, yoga pants are back in the news, and it's not a good thing because it's California. Yes, they've found 13.3 quadrillion plastic fibers in California's environment. But this is really just an estimate. They weren't using tweezers and a magnifying glass. Plastic fibers primarily shed when we wash yoga pants, stretchy jeans, and fleece jackets, and these can enter oceans and waterways according to this study. These are shocking findings. That's how many stars there are in the Milky Way galaxy. To come up with this tally, they combined data on synthetic fiber consumption with estimates of how often people wash their clothes and how much those clothes shed in each wash. Then they used California-specific sludge and wastewater management information to follow the fibers and predict how many end up in bodies of water, landfills, incinerators, or spread across the land. Scientists are examining deep-sea corals to understand the carbon dioxide increase that ended the last ice age. The Southern Ocean played a critical role in the rapid atmospheric carbon dioxide increase during the last deglaciation period. This took place 20,000 to 10,000 years ago. By examining the chemical signatures of nitrogen and carbon in the coral fossils, researchers found that ocean carbon sequestration decreased as phytoplankton failed to devour macronutrients supplied by upwelling currents in the Southern Ocean and trapped carbon dioxide in the ocean. So this caused atmospheric carbon dioxide levels to rise. Okay, say Betelgeuse 3 times. Just kidding. Anyway, scientists now believe that Betelgeuse is 25% closer than they thought, but it's smaller, and it's still going to blow up, but it poses no threat to the Earth. Yes, it's always been estimated to be about 642 light years away, but now they think that it's 530 light years away. So all the estimates about its size are also incorrect because they didn't know the correct distance. So Betelgeuse does appear to be reaching the end of its life. It's been acting strangely lately. It doesn't appear that it's ready to blow up just yet, but it's probably going to happen in the next 100,000 years or so. It's normally one of the brightest stars in the sky, but they've observed drops of brightness since late 2019. This could be an indication that it's about to explode, or it could be a dimming event involved by a dust cloud. We found the second smaller event was likely due to the pulsations of the star. The good news is Betelgeuse is far enough away that if it does go supernova, it won't affect us. So this is kind of a long read, but the title was interesting, so I wanted to share it. You'll want to follow the link down below in the description to my Blogspot article with all of the URLs for the stories in this video. But they start out talking about quantum computing, and unlike our current computers that operate on binary where each cell is either a 1 or a 0, these qubits consist of quantum particles that have some probability of being in each of the two states, 1 or 0, at the same time. And they're easily upset by magnetic fields and stray microwave pulses that cause them to undergo flips. So scientists need to find schemes for protecting this information even when individual qubits don't line up right. But one thing for sure, plain old 1s and 0s can't sustain quantum computations. So they came up with this quantum error correcting code. While they were doing this, a funny thing happened. Physicists found evidence of a deep connection between quantum error correction and the nature of space, time, and gravity. 3 young quantum gravity researchers came to an astonishing realization. The bendy fabric of space-time in the interior of the universe emerges from an entanglement of quantum particles living on its outer boundary. This emergence of space-time works just like quantum error correcting code. So I think you're going to want to follow up and read more on this. So on ShotokuTech Saturday Story Time, quite often we talk about invasive species or non-native species. And here at Prospect Park in New York, some guy dumped 2 bags full of eels into the lake. And as he was walking away, they heard him say, "I just wanted to save lives." This is illegal, and it's probably not a good thing. They're not quite sure how this is going to play out. So scientists have just discovered the new shortest unit of time, the zeptosecond. It's the amount of time it takes light to cross a single hydrogen molecule, and this knocks out the Nobel Prize winning work that first measured time in femtoseconds. And that was back in 1999. These people have too much time on their hands. Well, you just can't keep Nokia down. Here, NASA has awarded it $14.1 million to deploy a cellular network on the moon. Yeah, it's going to start out with that 4G LTE, and they'll probably get 5G just like the rest of us. This could support lunar surface communications at greater distances, increase speeds, and provide more reliability than their current standards. This is the longest path of fossilized human footprints ever found. This over 400 steps and tracks over a mile, and the scientists see that it's a young adolescent person carrying a child in one direction and then doubling back without that same amount of weight. And they could even see that there were other animal tracks. A giant ground sloth and a mammoth transected them between the outbound and return journeys. The human tracks show no changes that they were aware of the predators, but the sloth did seem to indicate it was aware of the humans. This is an interesting paper because they say it takes a lot more footprints than one might imagine to make this kind of forensic analysis, and this is going to help in future studies. The University of Iowa made this microsatellite HaloSat, and it reveals that the Milky Way galaxy is surrounded by a heated, clumpy halo. And this gaseous halo is continually resupplied by the birth or death of stars in our galaxy. It's continually being supplied with material ejected by birthing or dying stars. This heated halo, called the circumgalactic medium, was the incubator for the Milky Way's formation some 10 billion years ago. And it could be where basic matter unaccounted for since the birth of the universe may reside. So in the July 11 edition of ShotokuTech Saturday Storytime, we talked about this Netflix series Away, Hilary Swank starring as an astronaut traveling to Mars while her family drama plays out back home. But sadly, Netflix has canceled Away. So if you haven't seen it, it's worth the watch, but unfortunately, it's just a single season, one and done. So on a beach at Kiowa Island in South Carolina, this extremely rare white baby sea turtle was found, making its way from its hatching under the sand, headed down to the ocean. This is leucism. It's a condition that decreases color pigmentation, and it's different from albinism. Loggerhead turtles are typically reddish brown. Sea turtles with leucism are rare, largely because the odds of survival in the ocean are slim. Camouflage is very important to all animals, but if you're a small sea turtle, you really don't want to stand out. These loggerhead hatchlings start out at 2 inches in length, grow to 3.5 feet and 375 pounds as adults. Good luck, little fellow. We've just discovered the largest cat meme, and it predates the internet by 2,500 to 1,800 years. Yes, they just discovered somehow these Nazca lines that are a cat on the side of this mountain, so they've been working to restore it. I don't know how it got missed originally. Geologists have discovered an ancient tectonic plate in Canada. Yeah, we know the face of the Earth has changed constantly over its life, with all these plates shifting and sinking. And it's long been known that in the early Cenozoic era, around 60 million years ago, there were 2 major tectonic plates called Kula and Farallon in the Pacific Ocean off the western coast of North America. But there was also this widely debated third plate named Resurrection, and they believe they've found it. Plates push against each other, and sometimes one of them will sink underneath the other. This is called subduction. They tried to find the Resurrection plate by studying existing tomography images of the mantle below North America. Then they used this technique called slab unfolding, which can identify subducted plates. Then they unfold and stretch everything to figure out their original shapes, and using this method, the team mapped out several large chunks of rock and worked backward to identify the original plates they came from. Intriguingly, the team identified a third slab detached from the others. It's below the surface of North Canada, and they call it the Yukon slab. And when you wind the clock back, it appears to fit the shape calculated to be that of the old Resurrection plate. All right, good find. So in March, the rocket club that I belong to, Southern Arizona Rocketry Association, hosted the NARCon 2020 right before we started locking things down. And one of our wonderful guests was this Osiris-Rex, who talked about the Osiris-Rex mission at our NARCon 2020 banquet. Here's my mission patch from the convention there. And so you may have heard Osiris-Rex just sucked up some dust from Bennu. It reached out with this arm and gave it kind of a smack and blew some nitrogen gas to send up a flurry of ancient alien rock. We just talked about Bennu in the last edition of ShotokuTech Saturday Storytime, but here's the video of that contact. It's amazing. All right, good job. I just wonder who the 27 people that didn't like the video are. They probably think the world is flat, so this Bennu thing is sort of foreign to them. This is amazing, and we're going to get this stuff back. We're going to see what Bennu is made of, and it's going to give us clues about the birth of our solar system. Thank you for watching ShotokuTech Saturday Storytime. I hope you subscribe to the ShotokuTech channel. This is the 45th episode of Saturday Storytime. That means I've done this almost a year, posting this at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning, and I'm working on upgrading the blog page for this, including the URLs from every single week's stories, and that will make this fully searchable. So you'll be able to search on topics like dark matter or exoplanets and see all the different stories, because it's been my experience doing this, and the reason I continue to do it is you see from one week to the next how stories come together and continue to feed back over a period of time, which has made it an incredibly interesting effort for me to continue to do this, and I appreciate your viewership, so please keep it up. And like I say, subscribe, that would be lovely. Look for the link to the Blogspot article down below in the description. Thank you, and have a great week. Thank you for watching ShotokuTech. Please subscribe, comment, like, and share.